Well. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the Talk to Audrey show, right here live from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And I can see a lot of you coming in. I'm very happy to be able to be talking to you with my special guest on Instagram Live this Saturday evening. Right now it's 10:30. I am waiting for our special guest, and that is the one and only personal trainer, internationally renowned Mr. Gunnar Peterson. Gunnar is right now in Beverly Hills, California, in the United States, where it is 1:30. And so I am going to see if we can find Gunnar so we can invite him as soon as he comes in. Thank you for joining us. I see people from all over the world joining us here. For those of you who don't know, Amsterdam, the Netherlands, is in Europe. And you're watching from, I see lots of places. I see France, I see Italy. Thank you so much. So we will just wait very patiently until Gunnar joins us. And I see him joining us. So let's see if we can invite Gunnar right now. And Gunnar will be pressing on the button to join. I see that you can see us, Gunnar. I'll just be waiting. And by the way, it's a Saturday, so I'm very happy that he is going ahead and being able to. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, on this Saturday, across the pond, talking to each other. Well, sir.
I got you. Wow.
Good
I am
afternoon. You got me.
I am tech savvy that I could do that.
Oh, you are so tech savvy. Listen, and I feel honored because I recognize that place anywhere. I should be in Beverly Hills.
I just wrapped up.
You just wrapped up. Why do I?
Yeah, long Saturday at work.
I feel very privileged, Gunnar, because it's Saturday. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. It's family time. And how many workouts have you had?
We're good. I got here at 4:45 this morning, so I've been in it for a minute. Let's see if that works. I got to find a place where I can prop you up here. My wife.
I hear there's a toilet in the gym.
There is a toilet in the gym. Doesn't everybody have a toilet in their gym? Oh, you mean for
Well,
training.
I hear you use the toilet for working out.
I have one right there.
Oh my God, I've heard about it. And so you said, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody tells you that they can't squat, then you ask them to sit on the toilet and they will prove that you could squat.
That makes me sound I'm not that guy. Honestly, I have it there because sometimes people say they can't do it. And I go, did you use a restroom today? Let's try this. And I put them there. And you don't have to, actually load 2 times your body weight, but this might show you that, hey, you're capable of doing this. So I don't know. I put it there. It was a thing. It was a thing for a minute.
It's the most original thing. Most original. Shall I give you a break? Do you mind if I introduce you for?
Oh, whatever you need. I'm right here. I'm here for you now.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. For those of you, thank you for joining. I see people coming from all over the world, and I feel very privileged once again on this Saturday. Let me introduce our guest. I feel like the Brady Bunch. For me, you're down. Mr. Gunnar Peterson, please correct me if I'm wrong. Born in Houston, Texas. Okay, here we go.
I was born in Washington, D.C. But
Washington. Okay, so this is.
I lived in Texas as a kid, so it's fine.
You lived in Texas. Okay, great. You put me in my place. I hear you, and this is why I never believe anything until I hear straight away.
You said correct me if I'm wrong, so I corrected you. But
yeah, you're very right.
I don't mind.
You're very right. I'm afraid now. So here comes the worst part. July 23rd, 1962.
Yep. Why is that the worst part? That's the best part.
Okay, good. Well, listen, looking at 59, looking this way, I am very proud of you.
Not just looking this way, it's performing at this level. When was the last time? I can't even tell you the last time I was tired or sick. I mean, come on.
That's because you're in the gym. That's because you're in the gym and I'm sitting down. So I may need to just listen, Gunnar. I'll tell you something later. We literally 2 hours ago, I think 3 hours ago, we heard that the Netherlands has gone back into a complete lockdown tomorrow. So there are a lot of people who need your help. There are a lot of people.
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I hope it's for everybody's best and everybody's safety, but I'm sorry to hear that. That's just rough. That's really rough.
No, it is really rough. I will continue, and I definitely get back to you. Thank you for that. I'm keeping an eye on the time because I know you're stressed for time. So,
no, I'm good.
husband
I'm good.
of...
I'm blocked it out. I shut the place down for you. It's like a private club now. Look at that. There's nobody in here.
Amazing, amazing. You're making a lot of people jealous right now that are watching because they'd love to. Well, actually, we'll talk about that, about people, Europeans coming over that way and the other way around. So you're a husband and a father of five lovely children. Congratulations, by the way, with your daughter getting into Duke.
You saw that? How about that?
I saw that, and I saw the most lovely message, and I'm really interested because you have a big family history of everyone, that whole family getting into Duke. So congratulations. You have a degree in physical fitness, psychology, nutrition, certified strength conditioning specialist.
Rewind. I majored in French and Spanish at Duke, concentration in psychology, and I took a lot of fitness stuff with Coach Al Bueller, who was the track coach at Duke, the esteemed Al Bueller. There's the Al Bueller Trail there named after him.
Yeah.
But then after that, I went on to get a ton of I was actually just talking to some guys at Men's Health about this yesterday, a ton of certifications, and I chase them down, and you get what you can get from them, and I try to take a couple of quality pieces of information from every seminar, and you get to a stage where you go, I've probably heard it, or I probably disagree with it, but instead of taking a negative approach, you think, how can I glean one or two new pieces of equipment, topics of discussion from this seminar or conference? So that's the mindset I have when I go into those.
Well, thank you. And you have a lot of things written on that gym wall, and I know because I actually write them down. I secretly copy things that you've written there. I have on my wall.
Yeah, we write them down. We have them in all the windows. We have little things. And then there's actually a board downstairs, and either my other trainer is a guy named Brad Siskin, who's unbelievable, but whichever one of us gets here first, we write something on the board down there. So there are the ones that are static that stay here all the time, and then in the morning there's the one that comes and goes.
Good job. So you told me you started at 4:45. Is it true? How many trainings a day do you do with clients, or does it depend on? Is every training the same length of time that you do with your clients?
Yeah. Yes. I get up at 3:45. I'm here by 4:30, 4:45. I usually catch up with desk work until 5, and then I start my own workout, and then I start with clients at 7 or 8. If I can get 8, that's a godsend. And I see 6 to 8 people a day. I try to keep it at 6. 7 is a sweet spot. 8, I know I'm pushing myself because I do things, before and after that. So I don't want to run. It's not fair to run out of gas for the last person you see in the day. It's just not. Yeah. I want the service and the product to be equal across the board for every single person. So if Brad, on the other hand, sees 10 to 12 people every day, but he's not doing the same things that I'm doing outside of here. He's also 10 years younger than I am. So we play that game.
Okay. But if you're doing that many workouts, one of the things I know that you find, if not the most important, is sleep. Does that mean you go to sleep the same time as your kids do, or? I see we're getting a little bit, that's a bunker. The Wi-Fi will just wait for you to come back. Okay, so while we're waiting for Gunnar to get back, as I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi on his side or our side, just trying to check. And feel free, Gunnar, if you can't, to log out and come back in. But yep, okay, he's left, so we're gonna try and see if we can invite Gunnar again. Let's see, okay. This is going to be interesting because I have on my side, I have the Wi-Fi, and I see, let's see if Gunnar, if we can get him back. There he is, he's there, and okay, let's see if we can. let's see if we can get Gunnar back, because I know he's here. There, you're back, sir. Well,
sorry, it's got to be
that's-
my Wi-Fi, so I may just stay. I may just stay moving here. I don't want to be.
That's all right. I
I
understand.
don't want anybody to get seasick, but I may do that.
No, you're motivating me. Well, I was asking you one of the things because I know that you completely believe in sleeping, and I was obviously, as anyone, does this mean that you go to bed at around the same time as your kids? Because if you're getting up that early,
I try to, but it doesn't always work that way. You know, I shoot for 8:30, but it's usually closer to 9. Sometimes it's 9:30. If it's 10 and north of 10 o'clock, it's ugly. Last night was a late one. We had a Christmas party to go to. I had no alcohol, but I did have chocolate, and it was just rough getting up this morning. I feel that inflammation, and you know, I pushed through, and I'm tired today, but I'll sleep in tomorrow, so a little bit anyway. But it'll be fine. Yeah, it's
have
a
a
focus,
cheat
right?
meal, not a cheat day. Sorry.
It's cheat meal, exactly. I had a cheat meal.
I
cheat every day on diet, though, which is not as per my nutrition guys guidelines, but I feel like a little bit here and there, I got it under control. But you know, the sleep, it's just like the training, it's just like the hydration, it's just like the nutrition. You shoot for 100%, you try to be better, and if you don't get it, you don't get it, but you don't give up and you stay on it. So I know I'm tired today, and it was a late night, but whatever. I don't let all the wheels come off, right? You don't miss the sleep, overeat, eat bad food, and there's a difference between overeating and eating bad food, and add alcohol and skip your workouts. That's when you're just a train wreck. And I mean, I can't tell you that hasn't happened in 30 years. I just don't do that anymore. And the people that I know, when 1 or 2 of those come off, that's tough for them, but you still gotta just, the only thing you can do is get back on your horse.
So when I'm listening to you, obviously, and you have endurance and strength, and obviously being the former director of the LA Lakers, of strength and endurance, one of the things I'm thinking, because if I tell you, I'm actually Dutch, and we've obviously kind of jumped into this, and I thank you very much. I'm Dutch, but I spent 7 years in the US. And so when I went to high school in Tarpon Springs, Florida, which is like a Greek high school, shout out to the Spongers, I read one of your first books, and one of the things that I keep seeing in all those years is that you believe in a regiment, right? So same time of eating and things like that. So how does that work with, and I have a business with, bespoke business with a lot of athletes and musicians and people that you work out with, there is no regimen at all. So how does that work for someone who, right now, obviously over this side of the pond, we're not flying a lot, but people that are always all over the place, I find it even difficult to try and eat at the same time in the morning. I know that I need to get that breakfast in. I'm not the type of person, with all due respect, to get the Tupperware, and bring it with me. There are a lot of people watching that have a business or entrepreneurs. How do we deal with regular eating and patterns? How do we teach ourselves that?
You do your best. Like, you can't beat yourself up if you can't be perfect at that. And some people are going to be great at parts of it, and others are like I'll never miss my workout. It's a non-negotiable. And some people go, oh, you can't say that. Well, I can, and I do. Am I going to not work out on a certain day? Sure, but that's not missing a planned workout. There are days you build in. I think those days find you more often. And then it's going to be the same with nutrition. So plan. There's a great book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he talks about habit layering, about prepping a room. And it's funny, and I read the book, and while I'm reading it, I'm nodding. Yes, he gets it. But I'm nodding because I agree with him, and it's stuff that I already do, a lot of it. But you can pick up ways to prepare when you leave a room. An example he gives in the book is, you turn off the television, you put the remote back in the same place, you fluff the pillows. If you had a drink on the table, you put the coaster back, you wipe it down. So the next time you go in the room is prepared. You don't go back into that room and have to clean it up for your next, TV session. And I think if you do that with a lot of things, when I leave this gym at night, if there's something I want to work on tomorrow for myself, I'll drop the piece of equipment right here in the middle of the track. So the person who comes and cleans the gym early morning doesn't touch it. My other trainer, Brad, doesn't touch it. And it's a reminder, oh yeah, I'm on that today. And I've prepared the room for my workout. I think you could do that with your nutrition. I think you can do that with your sleep. You set alarms. I have an alarm that tells me go upstairs. Make sure I'm upstairs by that time. I have an alarm that's like 10 minutes before I want to get to bed. Get in bed. I know I'm going to brush my teeth, whatever that whole process is. And I think everybody has to do what's comfortable for them. You don't have to be, compulsive and psychotic about it, but you have to do what works for you and what fits your lifestyle, how you want. You're in charge. You're at the helm of your own life. So I don't apologize if my wife is super understanding and gets it, but I have some friends like, why do you do that? What is wrong with you? Because that's what makes me comfortable. Years ago, someone said, you're a control freak. And a friend of mine said, he's not a control freak. He's a comfort freak. He knows what makes him comfortable, and it's non-negotiable what he's going to do to get there. And I take that, and I'm married to that. I'm not going to compromise my stuff, but I'm not a jerk. I'm not imposing that on anybody else. I don't tell my wife to do it or my kids to do it. I might suggest to the kids in a parenting tone, hey, it would serve you to prep your day or your evening like this so that XYZ falls into place. You can do that with everything. Nutrition, training, homework, my prepping workouts, knowing I have 3 alarms set to call you today. I mean, it's easy. Bang, 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 closer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Get in place. Yeah, no. But I'm saying that's how you have to do that. We're in a 24/7 world. Everybody is sought after in some way, shape, or form. People you think, how is that person so popular? Their phone and their text is going off nonstop. My parents are 84.
I think a couple of people are laughing here. They recognize.
Yeah. My parents are 84.
I have the same thing.
And they'll go, hang on a second, I got a text from somebody. I go, who's texting you? But we're all interconnected now through the social media platforms, and there's just so many ways to communicate. So you have to use your time judiciously. You got to be smart about that. And if you don't want to, no problem. But then don't ever tell me you didn't have time for something. You didn't map out the time for something. That's what it came down to.
Very interesting. I mean, you're teaching not only me a lot, but I recognize I have 2 questions which kind of spin off of this. On the one hand, obviously, everybody knows you are, besides working with the Lakers, are known for, here it goes, the celebrity clients, J-Lo. I saw not too long ago, excuse me?
Don't
you said,
don't start name dropping.
No, I want you. Listen, you don't have to answer. I know the NDA store, so... you know what I mean? What I loved is I saw the video about you going cycling with her. I think it was like, I don't know how many years ago it was. It was a very young lady.
Malibu Triathlon.
And it was triathlon, right. Which I think is
the Malibu Triathlon that actually she trained for. Like we were, where were we? We were in Long Island for months before that. And we trained there and then came out here, continued the training. And I had to prep that back from pool swims to open water swims to the run, the cycling.
How many years ago was this?
Oh man, a long time ago. It's a long time ago. It's got to be 10, 12 years ago, something like that. But
I even think 13.
But she crushed it because she prepped it.
But I also think that, isn't it, and that's what I was going to ask, with the clients that you have, I mean, it's great, all these celebrity clients, but aren't it together with the athletes, which I realize when I work with them, because I still learn a lot, is that the discipline is already in the core of the person, or because I can't imagine you at that point going to train someone. When I look at Chloe, when I look at all the people, the Kardashians, when I look at, there is a discipline, and still it's almost military, because I presume you won't even start if somebody comes in and says, I'm sure, I mean, I know they feel like, I don't feel up to it today. The thing I like about you is the fact that you're down to earth, no baloney. Get down to it. You've got 40 minutes. Let's get cracking. Is that what is common in all your clients?
No, I would say this, and I said it to a guy who was training with me this morning, massive, like mega star, who's going to do a thing in Vegas, residency in Vegas now. And I'm not gonna see him Monday. Monday's maybe my last day with him till he goes, and he's gonna go do this. But but we talked about it, and it's just, I said, it's the work ethic. He was here at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning, and he's going to go to rehearsals all day today. And I said, it's just funny to me, the people in that thin air at the very, very, very top, the common denominator is how they work. It's how they work. and there's no BS, and they don't allow anything to take them out of their game or their ritual. They're rarely, if ever, late. They rarely, if ever, cancel, and they commit to this. And they're, I mean, they know that this sets them up to do what they really do. It's the ones that are a little bit below. Sometimes you're dealing with assistants, or you're dealing with managers, and they're kind of giving you a little bit of the stiff arm, because they are acting the way they think the ones at the very top act. And in my experience, the ones at the very top are the most accessible, the easiest. They knock it out. True. They never cancel. I never check and say, he's late. Did I have that? Did he get the schedule wrong? No. If he's late, it's probably something in my garage was hard for him to park. That's probably what it comes down to. So so I said that this morning. So the common denominator to me in the uber successful ones is it's the work ethic and the commitment and the consistency. They don't get where they are by not being consistent. They don't rehearse, once or twice a month and then put on some show that you're going to read about for 3 months. No chance. They commit. And I try to live by that, because I'm learning from them also different things in how successful they are. And in our house, like even with the kids, we try to go by never late, never cancel, never quit. And somebody said, that's ridiculous to put that on your kids. That's such a hard, I go, whoa. It doesn't mean you're never going to be late. It doesn't mean you're never going to cancel. It doesn't mean you're never going to quit. It means that you do your best not to, and then you're ultimately going to do all three of those things less than you normally would. And we all know the first time you quit is the hardest time. Every time after that, it's easier. So we try to stay out of those pitfalls, right? You just don't want to do that. I don't know. It's working with people like that keep me fired up. I don't have to say to them, I don't motivate in any way. Come on, dude, you got a show coming up. You're never going to hear that. He knows. Believe me, they know. You're working with an NBA guy who has a $20 million a year contract. I don't need to tell him much. He knows. You have an actor who has a movie or a series where he's getting paid, a big amount of money, and his legacy is riding on it, and he's going to be remembered, on film going forward for his performance in this. He's not trying to phone it in. Like the ones that are the real deal understand how important it is to deliver that top tier performance. And I see that, and I'm thinking, I want to do the same here. I want this gym to be so dialed every time they get here. This is a very transient city. I want them to know that the temperature is the same. The music's the same. Our vibe is the same. Our look is the same. And they can count on us, and then they end up putting their trust in us even more so than just hiring us for what we do, because they know they can rely on this place. And that starts when you pull in. That starts in the garage. Sure. How you walk up. You never have to drive around the block looking for parking. That's enough to derail more than one person's fitness plan. So I've learned from them to keep delivering at the highest level, and I strive to do that. I told Jennifer Lopez once years ago, because of how she is when I was working with her back then, I've become better at what I do, because I want to toe the line, in her wake. If I'm part of her cadre of people, I want to be at her level in my field.
Yeah. I completely hear you. And there's only one way that discipline, that body, that it's not only the body for a woman. I mean, Jennifer is, I think, is she 51 right now? I don't know. She's around that age. I'm in my 50s. The thing is,
you know what she is? You know how old she is? I'll tell you how old she is. She's timeless. That's how old she is.
There you go. Never asked a woman her age. I shouldn't have gone there. You're right. She's timeless. But what I also love is not only in her, but especially her as a woman, is that she brings her A game. She shows us what discipline can do, and I think that's a wonderful, that's something that we should install in our daughters and our sons and our kids, it starts young. Let me spin off of that, because Gunnar, obviously, and thank you once again for joining me and taking time out of your busy schedule. Tell me about your expat life, because I only found that out later. Obviously, Expat in Amsterdam is my company. The Talk to Audrey show talks about the life behind expats. I know you went to boarding school in Switzerland. You have to tell me, because I don't trust anything I read. Something about Saudi. I know. Is your brother still in Switzerland going to boarding school? The whole family has to. Tell me a little bit about, because the foundation for me is the most important thing about why someone is the way they are, at least they're the starting and the building blocks. Please
Yeah,
tell me.
my family moved to Saudi Arabia for my dad's work. My parents put us in boarding school in
Riyadh?
Switzerland. Yep, in Riyadh.
Okay.
Yep, my brother and I went to
Same
boarding
here.
school in Switzerland. Um, Lots of traveling. It's funny, people say, "Wow, that must be tough being away from your family." I mean, I don't know. I didn't remember it as tough. To me, it was an unbelievable memory. It was an unbelievable experience. I still have friends from boarding school. Um, my family is as close as any family who, you know, had Little House on the Prairie style to everybody in a 3-bedroom apartment somewhere. We are as close as any. I speak to my parents. I speak to my mom every day. I speak to my dad 2-3 times a week just because he doesn't answer his phone as much. I speak to
No.
my brother. I speak to my brother and he doesn't have voicemail, by the way. He's like, they'll call back. So
Smart.
yeah, and I speak to my brother probably every day almost.
Really?
Yeah, and he lives in Europe, and yeah, I think that stuff set the tone from a family, from a foundational standpoint, and I still, and this is funny, even though I'm older, grown, family of my own, I still turn inwards to my family for big decisions, not for them to make the decisions, but I want to hear their input. I value their input, and I go,
Yeah.
hey, this came up, I could do that. This might turn into that. I know this guy through this, and there's an opportunity here, and they'll say, oh, and they'll never tell me yes, no, maybe, but they definitely give you an unvarnished thought process. And then I can, if it aligns with mine, cool, then I feel like a genius. And if it doesn't, and I have to pull back and think, why didn't I see it that way? Or are they right? So that stuff, yeah, very grounded in family. And also I run every single thing by my wife and kids, every single thing. Even when I took the Laker job, I sat them down at home and I said, hey, here's this opportunity to go take the job. And I go, well, hold on. It's going to mean this. I won't be at this. I'll be traveling this. And they went, take the job. And I said, but you understand that, you know, maybe for this event, I won't take the job. And so I took the job, full consent of everybody. So then not just there's no complaints later, it's that you go in eyes wide open on these decisions and you're a team and you don't make unilateral decisions. My dad said when I got married, look, everything you do from here forward, you're thinking for more than one person. And you got to make those decisions like that. Yeah, you got to make those decisions like that. You can't just say, I want to, you know. If you're going to bungee jump, you got to make sure everybody cool with that, where I'm jumping. You know, you can't just do that.
No.
And that comes with taking a job, bungee jumping, you know, trying to move, all those things you have to weigh in. And I have, you know, knock on wood, but it's also earned. I have a terrific support system or squad around me, you know, in terms of my wife, my kids, my brother, and my parents. Doesn't get any stronger than that.
I'm going to, after this interview, think about even more of what you've done, because I think you're a great role model. And I'm saying that, and it doesn't mean it. It's a lot of people that I talk to, that I work with and everything. But I also want to ask you, the role model, I'm sure that every day, every week you get to, you know, people want to be a personal trainer. I hear it a lot. I always say when people ask me, they want to have a cup of coffee, I'm thinking, they must think I have nothing to do, because having coffee, you know, we need to work 24/7. What is your, there are two things. You have a fitness app, a 4-week fitness app. I've looked at it myself. I literally did it beforehand, and then I got to talk to you. So now I'm going to ask you personally, what made you do that 4-week fitness app? And is it something, for example, for us, not only in lockdown, but for people that maybe are traveling or they are not able to travel because they're going to do it at home? Tell me what benefits that app, and why did you create it?
I created it because my wife told me to. And she has said, and many people have said it, you need to be able to scale yourself. You should have an app. You should have this. And my answer is, look, I told you when I connected with you on this phone, I was so proud of myself technologically. I don't know how to do all that stuff. I'm great. I am great. I'm not great. I love writing programming. I love test driving. I'm meeting a guy tomorrow morning. I wrote this program for a very big big fitness company, and they want me to work with them, and I have a way that I think they could go in a direction where nobody is going. And I wrote this program, and I'm coming here Sunday morning at 6:30 to test drive it with the kid. I love doing the programming, and I love,
Awesome.
focus group of one. I like doing it. I told my wife, I'll write the programs, I'll shoot the videos with you, you arrange a crew, you do everything there. I don't want to hear one person. I don't want to see a review. I don't want to see the haters. I don't want to have somebody. I don't want anything. I don't want anything from it. That's your project entirely. So she runs the whole backside of that. I write the program, whatever. So I'm proud of the programming we did. I saw a couple of videos of the exercises. I go, I don't need to see more. That's your gig. I got to go to work. So that's why I did.
Good job.
But I wanted to put something sound out there that I back, and I wanted to put something that has a component for if you have gym equipment or home equipment in your, and you have a home gym. And also we did one where you can regress it all the way down to pretty much zero equipment. But I'm a big advocate of equipment, obviously. So I would say if you can get your hands on even a few gym tools, you'll be so much better served.
Okay. Gunnar, am I allowed to ask? I see a couple of questions. Do you still have time for 2 or 3 questions from the audience?
I'm here for you. Fire away.
Thank you so much. So Zen Fitness is asking, can you drop the name of the app on the chat? Well, obviously, how do people get to the app? Because, there are a lot of people all over. I can definitely do that. We'll do that, and I'll drop it. It's all right. But for everybody who out there is listening, go to gunnarfitness.com and you'll also be able to see more information on it. Just Google it and you'll get straight to it. You can even see it on, on the Apple and everything's being explained. You go to YouTube, you'll have, listen, Gunnar, I'm coming to work for you. You can see everything explained on how it does. Gunnar does a great iteration. I see, does he train with Pat. Does he take on calls for trainers? Okay, somebody needs to tell me, what do you mean take on calls? Are you hiring? Is that what's being asked?
We don't. I tell you what, that's funny. I talk to trainers all the time. And if they want to meet, what I usually say is, come by for a workout in the morning. And it's hilarious. They'll say, what time? I go 5, and they go, AM? That's usually the response I get. And I go, yeah, you're a trainer. I mean, look, if I was a DJ, it'd be 11 p.m., but I'm a trainer, so it's going to be 5 a.m.
That's pretty
that's its own filtration system. But I talk to trainers all the time. I think you have to do that. I think you have to, not that I'm any better than them. We're all in the same boat, but I think I've been around, and if they can benefit from stuff I may have seen that they're coming up against now, I'm happy to share that. So they can DM me, or they can call me or text me, whatever. I'm faster on email or text or DM. Yeah, it's fine. I'm happy to do those calls.
Awesome. So tell me, because somebody said to hear food or fitness, I've always been taught, and I have a swimming background, but I have always been taught 80% of it is food and 20 is fitness. I doubt you'll agree with it, but you tell me, please. Hang
on, let me roll my eyes again. You sound like my nutritionist, Dr. Philip Golia. He and I go back and forth on this because it's 80%. He was a pro bodybuilder. He's like, it's 80% nutrition. I go, it's 80% training. So I go, agree to disagree and agree to meet at 50-50. He goes, it's 80% training. So what I will give you on that is, I think you got to get started, and I think movement heals everything. So you start moving, 80%, like that's a huge part. But the codicil is, as you get closer to your goal, the last 5, 10, 15, whatever pounds it is, when you're looking to really dial it in, I think it does swing 80-20 nutrition, but I'm not going to give you that from the jump. From the jump, I want you working out, I want you training, and I know we can make a ton of progress and a ton of improvement when you start the training, and the diet will start to fall in place. I do think it's a tough sell to get someone to adopt a brand new exercise plan, especially if they're coming from a sedentary lifestyle, as well as a brand new nutrition plan, as well as a rest recovery protocol, more sleep, supplementation. I think that's just too much for the average person, and they end up either they sour on the whole experience, or they fall off and they beat themselves up. And I say, give yourself credit for what you do. Don't beat yourself up for what you don't do. If you just start with the training. If you're the person who says, oh, I want to drop a few pounds before I start training, to me, that's like, trying to neaten your house up before the housekeeper comes. You're going to annoy the housekeeper. You're not going to do a great job. It's just a bad use of your time. Get to the gym and let the nutrition at some point, a little while in the gym, you're going to start making better choices because you're going to understand that the food, the fuel is actually what powers those workouts. So you're going to want to make better choices. As you get that in a routine and you're dialed in with your training and you're not skipping workouts and they're not as hard to find time for in your schedule, then I think start to really dial in the nutrition. And when you get, past that halfway part and you start to really zero in on the goals, then I think the nutrition plays a bigger part than training. Yeah, I do.
Okay. And so here I'm seeing, and there's a big difference. I don't know about the trends Beverly Hills is a whole new ball game compared to the rest of the US, but obviously you're in the right zip code, as you always say. Europe is known for, you were just in London. I literally,
I was.
If I could have jumped on a plane, I would have come said hi. That's interesting.
Yeah, I would have.
But in this country, Amsterdam is known for cheese, for bread, for all kinds of things. There was a fad, and there was always a fad, and there still is. There's, especially women, so many women not eating any carbs. Now, to me, in my life, if you're working out, you need carbs, good carbs. There's so many different.
Wait, you got to draw that line.
Yeah.
You mean women not eating a lot of complex carbs because you're eating carbs.
Well, no.
Fruits a carb, vegetables a carb.
That's true. Vegetables, broccoli, everything. In their mind, I'm a female, in the mind, there are, people, a lot of women are saying, I don't do carbs. And then they don't even think about the vegetables and the fruit. They think about exactly, white pasta, things like that. But you're so right. But does that mean thank you. Does that mean that you're saying you can eat fruits and vegetables all day, still get enough carbs into your diet and still work out?
I think you got to stay away from words like all and always and never and none.
Okay.
You got to
moderation.
come in a little bit. Yeah, you got to come in a little bit from that. And I would say I'm not going to give you the nutrition stuff. That's not my bag. I don't want to step on any toes. I stay in my lane. But you can't say that you can eat it all day. You're going to get people that eat 40 apples and they're going to destroy themselves. That's not the way our body is meant to eat. So you can do that, and also different metabolic types, you process different macronutrients than other people process efficiently, right? Like you may be super efficient at processing complex carbs. My wife, and don't hate her, she's great, but she eats pizza, fries, lasagna. She does Pilates a couple days a week and tennis a couple days a week. She was a great athlete in her high school days, but she doesn't go out and she doesn't look at her food. She doesn't think like that. And she's lean. She's just, that's just how her body processes. If I ate what she ate, I'd weigh 280. And I tell her that all the time. So you got to see what works for you. And it's not like I'm giving you some puzzle to figure out. If you really think about it, when you eat X, you kind of know once you're an adult, if you really think about it, especially if you eat that product in isolation, how it made you feel. I know what makes me feel bloated. I know what makes me feel satiated. I know what makes me feel hungry 20 minutes later. So follow those cues. You're responsible for it. Stop putting it on somebody else. You got to know. You have to know your own body and make the right choices. It's not, doesn't mean it's easy, but it means it's honest. So every time I fall off, I know exactly if I eat, Reese's peanut butter cups, I know exactly how I'm going to feel. If I have 2 drinks at night, I know exactly how I'm going to feel. I know exactly. If I eat the mashed potatoes at night, I know exactly how I'm going to feel. And I do it eyes wide open, and there's no one to blame but myself. And it's not even a blame thing at this stage. It's like, I just take responsibility. I just own it.
And so what does that mean for the difference in training between, do you see a big difference because of the food and because of the habits in training Europeans and training Americans? Is it all the same? Is it more to the person?
No.
Or do you see a couple of things?
It's person to person, It's there's you said Antwerp known for cheese. Yeah, well, we have cheese here. No, don't shoot the messenger. Right down the street, we probably have some of the same cheeses here. It's anywhere. It's just a matter of, you don't have to eat it. Even if you're there. I went to boarding school in Switzerland. I didn't have to eat the chocolate. I didn't have to.
Cheese in Switzerland.
I did, but I didn't have to. Nobody put a gun to my head. So you got to just own that you're doing it. And well, I'm there. Everybody's doing it. Well, if everybody was doing meth and it was an orgy, would you have jumped in on that too? Because I probably would have walked away. Stop telling me that it's just what people do there. No problem. And I hear you, and you're probably right, and that's great. But it doesn't mean you have to do it. And if you do, no remorse, do it, and then the next time make better choices.
Good one. Here comes another one.
Don't worry about all the judgment. That's where people, I get this at a party. I don't want you to see me eat this, and I go, I really don't care what you eat. You're 55 years old, dude. I haven't watched one of your meals up to this point. I'm not about to start thinking about you today. So don't sweat that.
Wow.
No, don't sweat that.
No, I got you. I have Patrick Keenan. I'm a recovery geek. Have you heard of pulse electromagnetic field PEMF? Yep. Therapy. It recharges your body on a cellular basis? ? So any thoughts on that?
No, okay. I've heard about it. I haven't tried it. I actually had someone yesterday ask me about it, and I said, that's funny. You're about the fourth person who said it, and I haven't looked into it. Someone told me about another product today to try, NAD. They said, you have to try this, take it in your body, and it rejuvenates. So all I'll do is Google it and ask around. But I do know about that. I have not done it, so no empirical data.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. All right. Oh, actually, that's pretty interesting. So did your parents, and that's one of my own questions, how much are your parents responsible and teach you about food and sports? I know, of course, and there's a whole big different thing about how many kilos it was or whatever. I love your story. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The fact that when you were a child, you were a little bit heavier, and
I was
your
fat.
mom.
Why does anybody want to say that word? I was fat. We can't say that word.
Listen, that's a cultural thing.
But it's ridiculous. Like, I can say I was a tall kid. Nobody has a problem. I can say I was a short kid. Nobody has a problem. But I can't say I was fat. Oh, he was a little skinny kid.
No, you could say
if
you're
fat.
But
everybody throws a towel in. I was a fat kid. I own it.
No, but Gunnar, you're right. But listen, where does fat come? Because one person thinks of body mass as counts body mass as fat. The other one says you're short. Where does fat start? Which is a great question. And where does it end?
Where does short start?
I have no idea.
Where does tall start? He's a tall kid. You're not that tall.
We're the tallest people in the world.
I worked around the NBA for 3 years. I've had NBA guys for 22 years. I'll show you tall, but they make jokes about my height. It doesn't bother me. To me, the fat
you were a fat kid. That's
I was a fat
just noted.
kid.
Everybody's
but it's not a big deal to me. I own that. Look, I ate wrong. I ate about
that was
quality,
my question.
Quality, quantity, and timing. That's usually what I ask people with nutrition. Where's your biggest sin? Quality, quantity, or timing? And it may not be limited to one. You might say, "Ooh, all three." Mine was probably all three. And back then, I would bet, I've never really given this much thought, I would bet it was quantity, number one, timing two, and quality third.
Tell me the timing part.
Timing, when you eat, like you get different food affects your body differently, right? Well, at night or not in the morning, and then you have some massive 3,000 calorie lunch, and then you don't at night. So, you don't eat enough at night. So it's just your timing's wrong, and you got to see, does it serve if food is energy, which it is, kilocalories are energy units. Are the calories, is the fuel you're putting in serving you? Is it giving you what you need from a performance standpoint? And I don't mean to, strip. I don't want any of the foodies to be mad. I don't want to strip all the love away from food, but I look at it like, okay, taste, sure, that's important. Portion size, that's important. I don't like to have little tiny portions. I feel unsatisfied probably from that. And then, heat, temperature, those are all things that factor in. So what do you like to eat? And can you find a way to build that into your diet so that you don't feel deprived? When you feel deprived or shorted, to me, that's the beginning of the end of whatever program you're on. The minute you're deprived, you're going to go, I'm not doing that program. The minute you feel like you can't join in all the reindeer games, you're probably close to the end. You talk about stuff written in the windows. I have it written in the window. I think it's over there. and it says if it's not sustainable, it's not successful. So you can give me whatever cockamamie diet you have. If I can't do that with relative ease over a long period of time, then that's a diet, or that's a food plan or an eating program to use for a specific goal. But I can't take that and run with that until the end of time. That's why, like with my guy, the stuff he gave me that I can eat, I can look at a menu and go, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, maybe, maybe, no. And I can make my choices because they're informed. I don't have emotion to, oh, I can't eat that. I can, but I know exactly what the yield is going to be.
But that's a good one. So can you give me an example? You're looking at a menu. So, you know, I'm asking you for your secrets. Obviously, this is something that your body and you have been taught or trained or you know, like what, can you give me an example? What does that look like? You look at something, how do you choose?
My body responds really well to salmon, copious amounts of salmon. I can, I respond well to that. So I usually look for that. And then I have like a little mental game of I'm comparing this salmon in this place with this salmon in that place. And so I know kind of what I'm going to get. And then I try to keep it clean. If it's, you know, macadamia nut encrusted salmon, I think I can have those nuts. That's essentially a fat, but my body does really well with proteins and fat. Not so great with complex carbs, but tonight I could have the carbs if I want them. But calorically, where am I in the day? If I have that, that's going to take your salmon from X calories to X to the whatever power, because macadamia nuts, highly caloric. So just knowing that, I'm going to make an informed decision. I will tell you, I don't go out enough that I'm not going to have it if I want it, because I know I'm going to be right back in line the next day. So I'll have it, but I don't have it and then wonder, why do I feel like this? Why do I look like this? I'm in charge. I got this. I'm the captain of this ship. And I think I know everybody is the captain of the ship, and I think everybody should take charge of their ship. It's super powerful. It's incredibly empowering.
What about, so I'm trying to think, the companies that you decide to do collaborations with, is this something that you think about for a long time, do a lot of due diligence? Is it something, companies that you've known? How about, you know, business and collaborations with Europe or anything like that? Can you tell us, what are you interested in? How does that work?
I think I missed the wave of selling out as a trainer. And I know a number of people who did. They took deals for money, and it either worked out well for them, and I know some that it didn't work well for them. But anybody I've partnered with, it's a product that I've looked into, used, benefited from, and I'm proud to align myself with those companies. I don't do stuff with companies that I don't feel a connection to, whether it's equipment, supplements, gear. You know, I wear stuff that I like. I eat stuff, like I legitimately eat those products and use those products. So I'm not going to tell you I'm doing something else, but hey, you should do this. That's just, I have to be true to it. Like I said to somebody the other day, I said, I've been in this too long to sell out now. I missed that boat. Like, I just have to stay true to it. It's the easiest way to go. And it's also the easiest way to put your head on the pillow at night and go to sleep.
Which is I'm counting the hours going to sleep. They're extremely short. Any wishes to do, you know, come across? Okay, it's none of my business. You were in London. Any great things on this side that interest you?
Yeah, I'm doing stuff, and they're going to announce it in January, so I can't tip my hand, but it's a big fitness company. It's great stuff, and the way they train, the programming they have behind it is so sound and so solid. It's probably as again, I don't know how to scale myself. I'm challenged in that way, but it's so similar to the workouts that the people here go through. And when I was in talks with them, I just thought, God, they get it. They get it. They get me. I could contribute to this. I could help this. So that's going to happen. But it has to be stuff. It has to be stuff that speaks to you. I'm not saying don't flush out certain things, and you might take certain roads and go, that's not where I thought it was going to go. At some point, you have to be true to yourself, and you have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable. We're
Mm-hmm.
not all doing our dream jobs, but to me, don't
Yeah.
lose the dream, even if it's not the dream job, and look for what speaks to you, because it just makes everything else in your life easier.
Oh, amazing. And so that's a great last question, because I know I want to. It's Saturday, and I appreciate the afternoon. I'd like to close out with everyone, and I hear that a lot. A lot of people are, how do I become a personal trainer? That's not the question I want to ask, because I believe that if you want something, you go for it. I like to dream big, and I remember making a drawing actually 10 years ago. I can't find it, but 8 of the things come true. I believe in the glass is always half full. What do you say to trainers? Because the big thing is like I said today, a couple of hours ago, our gyms are now closed, which is crazy, because I think that health is very important in a lockdown. Outside sports for young ones. What do you tell to the trainers now that are like, we can't have our people here? Obviously, you could do outside training. What do you tell the people who are inside, get out? What is your advice for this side right now, for however that lockdown may be, to get the best of their body?
Use the time to try something you've kind of thought about trying, but haven't tried yet. If you were always curious about how a rowing workout would work for you, get a rower now. Do that and commit to that as your new form of exercise. You may hate it, but lock into it for 4, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it is. Find stuff online. Find a trainer you can do Zoom with. You can do FaceTime. When we were in lockdown, we were still training the Laker players on Zoom workouts. And it was I'm sure they will tell you it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for us either. But we had to do it, and we stayed with it, and we sent them all packages that had, I think it had jump rope, sliders, heavy dumbbells, light dumbbells, a mat, and a couple other things. And the other guys on the strength staff and I, Chatton Hill and Ed Strite, we put together workouts for them, and then we went through it with them. So when we did come back in, we came back in strong. And I think that's these people for the lockout. It's not easy. No one's saying it's easy, and it's going to suck. You can't change it. If that's the hand that's dealt, let's play the hand and let's try to win the game. Let's not just say these cards are awful and fold. That's not in my wheelhouse. I can't do that. So find a way to do it. There's so much information online. You have the time to look it up online now. Piece together some workouts. Try some things differently. Challenge yourself in ways you haven't had the luxury of time to do. So now is the time. Challenge it. Try it. If you locked me at my house, I have a set of adjustable dumbbells, a spinning bike, a rope, and a chin-up bar at my house. You come back, I'm still going to be in shape. It's not going to be as fun as being in, my Willy Wonka factory here, but I'm still going to get after it, because there's a certain sense of pride, and I want to win this, and I will. You
will. Gunnar, I wanted to thank you. First of all, I'm going to say, celebrate with your daughter, celebrate with your whole family. You've almost got a soccer team right there. A couple more. And
trying.
Just kidding. I hope that we meet. There is a chance that I may be coming out that next of the woods, so let's keep that. I thank you for your time. If there's anything else I can do here, definitely. You're in Amsterdam. You're our guest. I want to thank you, and I wish you an amazing weekend. And please give my shout out to Miss Kay, who set this up. Kaylee, amazing. I wish you lots of health. We're going to do fine. We have lots of things to talk about. We're going to repost this. I wish you a Saturday. The Talk to Audrey show says shout out. Bye, guys.
You guys stay strong in that lockdown. You'll get through it. You definitely will. Thank you, guys.
We will. Thank you. Bye-bye.